On Thursday, June 10th, just after lunch, I got to take my final exploration of the area. I had to be back in time for the evening concert. Okay, so this is my last day, probably, to get to explore the mountain roads in the Little Belt Mountains here. Tomorrow we head out, so head east on Useville Road, and this time I'm going to try then and hit a network of roads to the east. Looks like primarily Road 120, and if I play my cards right, I can kind of loop around there and end up some interesting places. I think no matter how I slice it, I'm going to have to double back though to Useville Road or 613 and come back down. So we'll see where the adventure takes us. I'm just a little curious to see what this sign says. So 120 branches to the right, that's where I want to go today. Just a little curious what this big warning sign is here. Oh, private property. Okay, that's just telling you stay on the road for the next 5 miles. Okay. It's not that you're not allowed to drive on this road. It just means for the next 5 miles, this road goes through private property and they don't want you messing around on their land. Simple enough. Wasn't going that way anyway, but interesting. See a lot of those signs. I've never seen one that big. I'm guessing the landowner put that one up just to make it really clear that they don't want you messing around in their land. Okay, so I'll mess with my phone a little bit here. And still just a little bit off. Alrighty. And this is where Forest Service Road 120 breaks off from Useville Road. So I didn't go the way I intended when I was leaving the church camp. I kind of spoke to the camera. I ended up kind of doing it in reverse, where I took Useville Road to this, and when I'm done, depending on where I pop back out, I may end up taking 613 back to camp. One way or another, I think the road I'm on, no matter which branches I take, I think I need to take it right back to right here when I'm done, because I don't think any of these branches make it to another main road. So again, this is just continuing Forest Service Road 120. At this point, it ceases to run with Useville Road. Now it's its own Forest Service Road. So we'll see where it goes. Here's the first little sidetrack I'm going to check out. It's 3350. This definitely looks like an area that ATVers like to use. This trail goes on for a while and kind of ends. And it looks like it ends where a lot of dirt bike and ORV trails diverge. Okay, now this is 63, 66 looks like, right as I enter. And whatever it is, it's so tiny it didn't make this map. Looks like it just goes off a short distance for some campsites. Again, they do a nice job, as far as I can tell, here in early June. Most of the deadfall has been cleared. I don't know if we owe thanks to people who like to recreate here or to the Forest Service themselves, but again, I don't have my axe or a chainsaw with me, and I have not had to drag a single tree out of the way here. At about this point in the trail, the jarring from the rocks and general roughness of the trail finally persuaded me to do the unthinkable. The one absolute most common cliche in overlanding videos is, of course, the footage of someone climbing out of their rig and airing down their tires. So I'll clip it short here, but at about this point on my last day, I finally said, all right, enough's enough. This road is sufficiently rough that I'm going to go ahead, air down my tires. And I was glad I did, except for the fact that at the end of the day, which may or may not make itself onto this video, my CO2 tank ran out of CO2. So as I was trying to rush back for the final concert that my wife was in, I had to take out my little 12-volt compressor and try and get enough air into my tires. One of the many trails that kind of shoots off from this main trail. See some really remarkably beautiful scenery around here. Look at the map, looks like 727. Yeah, you can see there's like a no Jeep indication on there. So a lot of these are dirt bike and ORV trails. Again, very beautiful there. Again, you can see there's a gate. I see it a lot out here, where there is a barbed wire fence stretched across, but they're taken down and left down. So hopefully that's not interfering with the ranchers. Now, this is indicating 6362. I think I was headed up 3350. Let's see if I can find me on the map. Yep, there we go. Interesting. I'm wondering if, yeah, I'm not sure why they gave it a different name. We'll see, maybe I'm at the end here. But this indicates another trail continuing on quite some distance. Love a good angle of attack. I should say approach angle. A little less dramatic. Now none of this seems to be marked on the trail. Well, let's go to the right first, because that does seem to have a gate at the end. I'll swing around here to the left. This looks like it kind of ends at a gate. Actually, it goes both directions. Wow. All right. 72, I'm sorry, Trail 726 is limited to ORVs. That's our ATVs that are off to the side, or dirt bikes. Let's see what this sign says up here. And this also has a gate on it. It's just not as clearly labeled. I think this is just a campsite. So I'll just pull in here and kind of check it out. Consult Gaia here in a minute, see if Gaia has any more information to shed on this. I want to be careful because I want to be backing down this shelf road really far. fold down the ham antenna too. Okay, time for a quick consultation here. I'm going to take a quick track just around this bend before I drive too far down this trail. Couldn't find it on Gaia or on the motor vehicle use map. I probably look like a Japanese tourist here. I got my binoculars. This is one time when a drone would be handy, which I do not own. But I do have some binoculars here, and even though there's mostly just black bears around here, game warden said you don't have too much to fear, I carry the bear spray anyway. Well, it looks like I can turn around if I need to up there. I'll take one last look at the map. Unless there's something weird, I'm going to go ahead and continue up this track. It looks interesting. Yeah, this is a case where I think the motor vehicle use map is better than Gaia on this particular moment. I think this is trail 727. This part of it, I think, is open to all road legal vehicles. Basically, it's not limited to dirt bikes and ATVs. So, and I looked ahead, there's definitely 2 or 3 places here where if I absolutely needed to, I could turn the truck around without being worried about going down the side of the mountain here. I did kick a sharp rock out of the path as I walked along, but should be interesting. Almost into limb riser territory. So one thing I think I haven't done to my truck here so far on this trip is strap on the limb risers. Again, those of you who use them, they really mostly come in handy when you can't see. The limb riser just kind of pushes the limbs out of your field of vision. It doesn't protect you from the kind of pinstriping you get on a track like this. Some of these bushes are definitely going to take their toll on my paint job. I still see some snow in the mountains off in the distance. Well, that is interesting. So that is 727. I thought there were two designations back there. That one joins this one, so it's kind of a ATV shortcut. So there's a little stretch there where an ATV trail joins you. Now I may have to get back out of here. You can see it's getting a little cozy, and once again I'm a narrow shelf, so if I had to turn around here it would suck. But if I understood the map correctly, this goes on for quite a ways long. Yeah, there it goes, it opens up over there, all right. This goes on for quite an additional length, so that explains that mystery. There's a T727 that is like dirt bike, and ATV only, and it splits off. I guess I'm headed east, so that would be, what would that be, a little bit to the south? No, I'm sorry, a little bit to the north, and then it rejoins this main trail. So if you wanted to hike or take your dirt bike, you could do that. Here you can see this trail kind of. Can't tell if that's snow off in the distance or man-made structure. Outside temperature is about 64 degrees here, so I want to check the elevation. I'm not super high. I think I'm like 6,400 feet. Well, I'll be darned. Those are man-made structures. Little cabins there. I wonder if that's recreational or if that's like an old cabin. So it seems a little too low to have a lot of snow. I got some deadfall here, almost making it impossible to drive in here. I think this might be a good spot just to check out and review the maps. It's got a fairly modern sign on it. No indication it's private property. Well, that's kind of cool. Yeah, it's a full-on log cabin there. A log structure anyway. All right, small water crossing here. Banks are a little vertical. This one seems to have been restored. Yeah, U.S. property, not private property. Interesting. And the trail continues. I'm going to pull off here and explore a little bit. And we'll see whether we want to continue on the rest of the trail. One reason I like to be careful with an iPhone and quadruple check is I just taped about 5 minutes of a walking tour of these structures, speculating whether this is someone panning for silver or gold or why they're here, and then went back and looked, and it wasn't taping the entire time. So who knows, maybe take two will be better. But this appears to be the shed associated with the living quarters up the hill. This one I looked in. Looks like kind of a big, looks like log table. I can't imagine if someone slept on that. Definitely, whatever it was heavy duty. So you really kind of get a sense of the nature of the structure here. Pretty cool place. Wood stove and all. There's the old chimney. And you can see there it's a plank floor. Again, whatever the history of these structures, they've probably been restored or repurposed at different times. Okay, so I'll come around. And both have kind of a tin roof over the, or, you know, the corrugated metal roof over the wooden roof. So if it ever was a thatched roof, it was quite some time ago. Kind of get a sense of where I am here on the side of the mountain. And this is Forest Service Road 727. There's that little stream that runs through it. I think those are pitcher plants. Those are very beautiful. Now, definitely not, they're just not open, but I think pitcher plants are like some kind of tropical thing, but nevertheless, very beautiful. Advantage of having an idiot, or disadvantage of having an idiot narrate your video is, look at that cool bird. Oh, what a pretty flower. Kind of shame I don't know anything. This appears to be the living quarters. I poked my head in when I thought I was taping. And there's those plants grown larger. So I'll get up close again, kind of peek inside. So it's kind of cool. It's a, you see the log sticking out there. It's got a vault room above. So that's pretty awesome. And I was peeking through the windows on the other side. I think you can get a little better view that way. So again, you can see not private property, owned by the Forest Service. One thing I need to remember is it's supposed to rain this afternoon. And that nice gentle trail will look very different with water rushing across it. And there you go. Good. Kind of get a slightly better view of the inside there. And again, there's a little staircase back there because there's like a little vault bedroom up there. And you can just see the roof of the other shed through the trees there. Okay, I consulted on Gaia. I can find the route that I'm on, 727. The scale's a little hard to read. If I'm understanding it correctly, this trail will terminate not too far ahead of here, so it just seems a shame to come all this way and not see what's at the end. After all, I just saw that amazingly cool cabin. And this particular track is not on Gaia, but it is on the most recent motor vehicle use map. So that's why it's always good to have multiple sources of information. Definitely an advantage of a narrow vehicle. You could get a full-size truck through here, but you'd be pulling a lot of that deadfall farther out of the way. And you'd be tearing up the sides of your truck way worse than I'm tearing up mine. This is just such a cool track. I think it's very firm road. It's not like I'm worried about damaging my drivetrain or having to break out the winch on here. You can't go super fast, but just really well-managed, well-maintained little track. Not the beautiful forest. Well, now, how about that? Did I speak too soon or what? And there's the first bit of deadfall I have encountered on this entire trip that I can't just drive around. That's got to be fairly recent, judging by the fact that virtually everything else has been cleared.